Okay.
Hello, it's Ted Argyle from Adrenaline. We're just going to run through the 3 different ways to escape. So this is an extension of the article, which is in the latest newsletter. So the 3 different ways to escape: you can use a technical escape, a muscle escape, or what we call waiting to escape. And we're just going to show you a guard pass and then show you those 3 different types of escapes with the guard pass. So if you put the guard pass. So the pass we'll use is this one. So we're just going to grab the gi, put one knee into the hips or into the butt, 1 foot back, push down the knee. Knee transitions to the top. Before I go any further, this hand needs to unhook here, so he can't unhook me and get my back. I pass through, knee slices through, arm over the top. One knee near the head, one knee near the hip, and hugging the shoulder. So again. So we catch the gi, one knee in, 1 foot back, push down the knee. Of course, once you push down the knee, you've got to suck this left elbow in so they can't underhook you. Knee over the top. Before you go any further, we need to make sure we cement our underhook here. If he tries to unhook me, I'll underhook him. You can't go any further until you've got an underhook. We slide through, knee leads, one knee near the head, one knee near the hip, and cement your grip. Okay, so there's the pass, but there's 3 different ways to pick it off when you're rolling. First way is the technical escape. So what I mean by that is you're going to do each of those moves, but you don't move to the next part until you've cemented that position. So it will look like this. So if you just apply a little bit of resistance. So my first step is to break the grip. So I do that by getting my knee in and get my knee back, and I just push down using my elbow. Okay, but not too much strength. If I'm trying to use strength, that's a muscle escape. So I'm here, I just kind of wait a little bit, I push down the knee. Once I have that, I catch his knee. Knee over the top. Hand through here. If he tries to unhook, I'll unhook him. Knee through, arm over the top, side control. So we'll do that just with a little bit more resistance. So the thing with the technical escape is you're not going to go to step 2 until you've got step 1 cemented. Let's go. So sometimes this can take a little while. For example, I'm trying to break his guard down. That took me a couple of seconds. I control his knee. But notice I'm not rushing. I'm not rushing. I get each step correct before I move on to the next one. Then side control. Okay? So that's what we call a technical escape. So you're doing the same movements that we did when we did it when our partner's 100% compliant. The only difference is because we're applying, or because Ian's applying resistance, I need to make sure that I'm not leaving myself vulnerable by leaving any steps open, and I'm also trying to get each step exactly right before I move on to the next. So that requires less strength, but more technique. Okay? The next method is what we call a muscle escape. This is just where you use raw strength and raw power to do the same move. So if he applies resistance, I'm not too concerned about technique so much, I'm just trying to muscle my way through, like this. Generally speaking, this will be less pretty. You're more likely to make an error. He's more likely to stop the move, but there is times where that's appropriate. Let's do that again. So he's applying resistance, and I'm just using full strength here, less technique, more strength to get my pass. The third one is what we call the waiting to escape. This is similar to the technical escape. The only difference is we're kind of forcing your partner's error. So I wait for him to make the mistake, or I wait for him to move in the position I want him, and then I make the most of that opportunity. So for example, if I have guard here, I don't even bother trying to open his guard, right? If we're wrestling, and I've got a really tight defense, if he can't arm lock me or choke me, if he wants to do anything, 9 times out of 10 he's going to have to open his feet. So as soon as he opens his feet, then I apply pressure to the knee. So that's required no strength on my part whatsoever. All it's required me to do is to be patient and to wait. My knee comes over the top, underhook, and then pass. So we go again. Many times with the technical escape, it's usually the first 15 to 20% of the move where you're applying patience, okay? So you're waiting for, like for example, side control escape, you might be waiting for the person to back off a little bit, and then you get your hip escape to work. It's the same thing with this. So I have the guard, I have him in my guard, I have my elbow set, so I can go back again. I have my elbow set, let's just wrestle for a bit. So as soon as he opens his knees, bang, I push my elbow on the knee, right? So that's required no effort on my part. All it's required for me to do is to be patient. Then I place my knee over the top. I can even wait here for a little bit. If I wait, I'm going to give myself more options, right? He tries to underhook perhaps. I out underhook him, and then I pass. So again, it's the same move, but you're doing it 3 different ways. So you're either doing the technical escape, which is where you're waiting for each part to be exactly right before you move, before you move on to the next. You've got the muscle escape, which is just raw power, trying to get past the guard, or any escape for that matter. And then you have the waiting to escape, which is where you're waiting for the person to do what you need to do to be able to escape. You know, you can apply that method to side control, for example. He has me in side control. Here, right, the classic hip escape. I lift, turn my hips, knee to elbow, push, hitting into my guard. So, if you're using the waiting to escape, all I have to do is wait for him to create space for me. So if we just wrestle a little bit, as soon as I get a little bit of space, I put my knee into it. So rather than trying to muscle him off me, try to lift my hips up, turn on the side, use a lot of strength and a lot of power to get my knee in, I can just kind of wait for him to create that space for me. So he's tight, he does something which creates room, and then I put my knee into that space. So each of those 3 methods have merit. You can use all 3, and you've got to use all 3. The technical escape is great. The muscle escape is also appropriate if you're trying to beat someone who's a little bit stronger than you are, or perhaps a little bit better or faster. Sometimes you'll need strength just to keep on top of their game. And certainly if you're in a competitive situation like a tournament or whatever, the muscle escape is essential. But those other 2 are very, very important as well. The technical escape, and particularly the waiting to escape, that's a really effective way to go. So this is Ian Collins, Adrenaline BJJ Blue Belt, and Ted Argyle, and thanks for watching.